G'day everyone and welcome back to my channel, Alex Does. We're out in the bush for another weekend of construction, or at least a video or two of hopefully a little bit of construction. We're back out of the site doing something. So welcome to my channel, Alex Does. Unanimously voted the least educational bushcraft channel and certainly slowest bushcraft shelter construction channel on all of YouTube. So welcome back, aren't you glad to be here? Oh, look at the weather. Finally it turns. Last couple of camps I've been saying it was going to rain and it hasn't, I put in that drainage last time and it still didn't rain. Today I turned up and it was completely raining. So very, very wet. Fortunately, of course, this roof on the structure, the tarp there, has done its job in combination with that drainage that I put in last week. And so inside is completely bone dry, not a drop inside, which is I'm really happy about that, so that's great. As for plans for this trip, you know, I really don't know. Look, to be completely 100% honest with you, I'm a little how do I put this? I'm a little bit surprised that I've actually managed to turn up today. Look, I've been looking forward to coming all week. Every morning I get up, first thought in my head is coming and camping and doing some work on the structure and doing some more, there's a bloody leech. Hang on. Whee. That sucker. Gone. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, all week I've been looking forward to coming out, but today I woke up and that motivation had just disappeared in the thin air. I don't know what happened. I normally like to get here around about 10:30 in the morning, so, and I got up, you know, according to that schedule, and I don't know what was wrong. I was almost starting to wonder whether I was coming down with some sort of illness. I still don't feel 100%, but yeah, I really had to force myself to get out of the house, get out of my motorhome that I live in, and you know, and other issues happened. While I was packing, I realised that my camera mount was broken, and I didn't have all the food that I need, so I had to make a couple of stops before I could leave, all that sort of stuff. And then I get to here, I get on the road in, and it starts raining, and I took the new road in, and it's turning out to be fairly mushy and slushy, so fingers crossed there's going to be no issues getting out tomorrow. And the time now, look, it's almost 11:30, so I've still got to do another trip back up there and get my second bag with all the tools in and bring that down. So anyway, I'm sorry for whining on. These are my issues, my first world problems. They're certainly not your problems and not what you come here to watch, I'm sure. But anyway, I'm here, I'm happy that I'm here, and I'm sure I'm going to have a good weekend. Food wise is going to be fairly basic today, just some sausages and potatoes and bacon or something, I don't know, something along those lines. I'm going to have to put a bit of effort in to maintain a fire for a little while under there. The fire might have to come in under the roof just because of the weather. There's a couple of other tasks I want to do that I'll explain shortly on the with the tarp at the front here to make that front door more accessible in preparation for closing off this side here with another side rail, similar to what I did on the last video. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Oh, come with me, come and check this stuff out. Hang on, how are we going to do this? Oh, smooth. I've seen this here a couple of times. It normally comes when it's wet or raining. And tell me if you know what this is. Check it out. So it's like it's a stiff, doesn't have a smell. It's like a stiff, jelly consistency, like a really stiff gelatin. I'm pretty sure. I thought maybe it's like frog spawn or something, but I'm more thinking it looks more like it's secreted out of the tree. I know the camera doesn't do real great with close-ups. It's weird stuff, eh? Look. It's kind of like it's leaking out of the tree. So anyway, I hope the camera picked that up. Just one of nature's little oddities in this area. Alright, the rain's picking up, and I think it's going to be up and down like that for the next day or two. So yeah, I'll switch off there. I'm going to go and get the rest of my gear and figure out the next move. Anyway, now that I've got all my gear, as you can see here, hanging up and out of the car and down to the site and undercover, I want to do something about this tarp. Now, I do have a modification that I want to do to the entryway to keep the tarp up above my head, but before that, I'm thinking I want to deal with this end. Well, it's the whole tarp, but it's, you know, it's this end. So tarp ends here at the end of these rafters, and even though we've done this drainage here, which is working, and I'm going to probably improve a little bit this weekend, I really, if I'd been smart, I would have extended this more this way rather than having so much slack at that end. Because if it went further that way, I could get it to reach past the point of the end of the fireplace here, because at the moment it drips directly into the center of the fireplace. You can see it dripping just there. So before I do what I have planned for here, I'm thinking I'm going to shift the whole tarp that way. Does that work for you? That way. So all of these, or most of these bits of paracord I've just used a taut line hitch, so you see they'll come loose fairly easily. So the plan is just to loosen them all off and then hopefully slide it that way. That's the plan as it works in my head. Whether it turns out to be that simple in reality is another thing. So I'm going to give that a crack. Alright, fingers crossed. Let's see how we go, just pulling it over. Okay, that's step one achieved. So I managed to get another 2 foot actually, and that just clears, can you see? That just clears the fireplace. So what I'm going to do is put some paracord on the eyelets and run it out to pegs on the dirt so it continues the slope down. And obviously gives us a bit less excess hanging over at this end. So I don't know whether I'm going to stick with my original plan or just tie it off somewhere. Okay, there we go. It's yeah, definitely not pretty, but it'll be effective. You can see we just missed the edge of the fireplace, kind of. There it is, big boo. Anyway, it'll do for tonight. It'll keep the fire dry. I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the other end now, the front side. I don't know if I'm going to stick with my original plan, which, while we're on the subject, so my original my original plan is to go and get, on the way in I spotted a long length of stick that's about, I don't know, 2.5 inches diameter, and I think it was about at least the length of this. So I was thinking of tying it along the edge, just through paracord through the holes and around the stick, and then I could roll it up like this and then fix it up here somehow just to keep it up and out of the way, and then if I wanted to I could roll it back down again, sort of thing. But, yeah, I'm not so sure now that I've done that. I'm kind of thinking I might just end up just tying it up like this somehow. I don't know. I'll sit and have a think. Come up with a plan. Well, I gave it a good long hard think, and there were lots of very viable options on what to do with the tarp at the end here, and they all seemed like a little bit too much work to me. And so in the absence of a decent decision on what to do, I just decided to do the simplest thing to do. So I've just curled it back under itself and tied it up. It's really rough, looks a bit rough as guts there, but doesn't look too bad at that end. It'll do. I mean, look, it's only a temporary roof anyway. Hopefully it's only a temporary roof. The idea is that it's only a temporary roof and there's going to be a permanent roof up here, which we've discussed in previous episodes. And if you haven't seen those episodes, go back and watch the whole series. A couple of times I've talked about how I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with this roof yet. Our friend's in the sky again today. He's a regular visitor, you might know if you watch most of my videos. 10 points if you can tell me what bird that is making that call. Of course, now I say that, he stopped doing it. And I'll tell you what, the leeches are out in force as well. So another 10 points if you can guess how many leeches I'll end up pulling off myself when I get home tomorrow. I've already pulled a couple off me, none that have latched on, but I've managed to catch them just crawling up me. But they're freaking everywhere at the moment. Right, so the next thing I want to do is cut some firewood. I'm going to cut some firewood and I want to get a decent stash of firewood in there. Actually, if I can get a fairly good stash of firewood in there, I might get the fire going fairly early. It's already gone 1 o'clock. I'm going to be roasting some potatoes in the fire and an onion again, so that takes a little while. So we might cut some firewood. I think it's all wet, of course, so it's going to be fun getting the fire started. And I know you've seen me cut firewood like 1,000 times already, so I'm going to do my best to capture every little detail of me doing that again. Well, I've spent a little bit of time there just chopping a stack of firewood to get me started. There's a fair bit there, but I don't know that it'll get me through the night. That stuff, even though it's a nice solid hardwood, still burns fairly quickly. So, but it'll certainly get me started. I don't know if you can hear, but it's raining. It hasn't stopped raining really since I started cutting the wood up. So, like I said, I've just finished that now. I'm just taking a break, having a drink. It's getting on in the afternoon, so I really think it's all I'm going to end up doing. Like I said earlier, where I mentioned like I might be getting a little bit sick, and I don't want to be spending too much time out in the rain. So I hope you'll forgive me that indulgence, but I'm thinking that I think I just need some time to chill and just hang out for today. I'm going to go and get me water shortly. As soon as there's another break in the rain, I'll go and fill my bag up with water from the creek. And we'll get a fire going, and as that starts to burn down to a bed of coals, I'll start cooking some food. and just chill out for the afternoon and just take it easy, I think. So this might end up being a bit of a short video. So I have to say though, I'm really happy with the door, the way that turned out. Like, I know it was just very much just a quick and easy solution, but already it is so much easier going out through the doorway than going that way, just because I don't have to bend over at all. I've got headroom going out that way, and been coming and going and coming and going. It's 100% better already, so I'm stoked that I did that. So that was really good. And I'm getting bitten by so many things today too, so it's another reason why I'll be pretty happy to get the fire going and a bit of smoke around and get all these mozzies away. Not that it'll help with the leeches, there's been plenty of those, but yeah, anyway, it's just one of those days. Sometimes you just need to stop and smell the bushes. The rain's not subsided, so I need to go and get some water anyway, but as I mentioned that, the sun's just come out over there. Up there somewhere, behind the clouds. Anyway, so that might mean we're getting a bit of a break, which would be good. But like I said, I'm going to go and get some water. I think I might even need a coffee. So I'm going to go get some water and we'll get this fire going, eh? How much nicer it is walking out this front door. Look at that. I won't jump off things yet. But anyway, much better than out that way. Alright, let's get this fire cracking. Now, because everything's wet, I'm just going to resort to the old fire starter. It'll do for today. Now, I don't know how these go getting a spark from a rod. I haven't really tried it. We'll give it a go, eh? I don't know what these factory strikers are like either. Oh, there we go. So that's a yes, they do light off a ferro rod. Let's see if we can get all this wet stuff to start burning. Should really do it like this. And probably put it out. Let's try not to smother it. And this fire is going to be smoky as hell too because of all the moisture, and everything's so moist. It's going to be delightful. Oh, the joys of working with wet wood. Would you like a bit of fire with your smoke? Anyway, it should die down as the wood dries out, obviously. So we'll let that burn down a bit. And I might get a coffee on or something. So just while I sit here having me coffee and chilling out by the fire, I'll update you on where my mind is at moving forward with the build, just the next step. Obviously the next part to go on the build is going to be the horizontal piece that goes along this wall that forms the bottom of the windows, same as the last one we did on the last video on the other side behind you there. And I'm hoping to get that on. I plan on getting, well, it was going to be today, but I don't think it's going to happen today. I'm pretty positive it's not going to happen today, so that'll happen tomorrow, which will, for you, will be next week. So, but moving beyond that, obviously, there's a little bit more framing I want to do around the windows. But I'm also keen to move on from woodwork as well. So I think I'd mentioned in a previous video that the next step was going to be doing the walls, at least putting the uprights in the walls, and then once all the uprights are done all the way around, weave sticks through in preparation for caking those with the mud and clay mix. But I've decided not to do that next. I've decided to actually do the fireplace next. One, because I need a chimney. So I'm thinking doing the fireplace next because I want to move on from woodworking and working with the logs and all that sort of stuff. I want to do something completely different. The fireplace is more of an unknown to me than how I'm going to do the walls. Even though I've never done wattle and daub before, I've also never done any sort of stonework before either. So it's just a matter of figuring it out as I go along. Man. So yeah, the content's just going to be a little bit different. There's more unknowns for me, I think, with the fireplace than with the walls. So that's going to be next. The other thing too is I've realised in thinking about it, just sort of running those mental scenarios on how I'm going to do it, it seems fairly logical that it would be wise to do the fireplace while I can still step through the side walls here, because I expect to be going, you know, this side and back and this side and around. And if I've filled all the walls in and have to go out the front door and all the way around again to come back here and go all the way around to come back inside to work on it, that would be a major pain in the rear end. So yeah, so it just makes more sense to me, I think, to do the fireplace first, then do the walls. And it'll just be nice to see a fireplace there. And I think it'll be better for cooking. It'll obviously be protected from the rain, and it'll help with dealing with this smoke, I hope. I've never built a fireplace. I've got a funny feeling there might be some sort of ratios, mathematical ratios involved in terms of size of your opening and size of your chimney and where the chimney is positioned, front or back, or I don't know. I think I'm probably just going to wing it and see how we go. It's generally how I do things. Far out. And hopefully we won't have to deal with all this smoke. It's only because the wood's wet. It's so bad. Oh, this fire's continuing to struggle just because the wood is just so wet, which is why I've kind of Jenga stacked it up like that to try and get some heat drying that wood. There's a lot of heat down below, but there's quite a bit of coals there now. But so I don't think it's at risk of going out. It's just very slow to get going. Anyway, I need to get these potatoes roasting, so I'm just going to sit them on this rock here. Hopefully they don't fall off or burn. We'll see how we go. Rightio, so those potatoes have been in the oven. I was so seriously gonna say oven then. Those potatoes have been in the edge of the fire there for about an hour and a half, and they are nowhere near ready. Nowhere near ready. So I've decided to abort that methodology and pull those out, and we'll start getting the rest of dinner ready, and I'll deal with that. I'll deal with those differently. So for today's tonight's dinner I've got, just went to the butcher and I've got some honey baked ham sausages. This should be good. Rightio, sausages are done, so I'm going to pull them out. They look awesome. And chuck in some bacon. Right, now goes in the potato. I've just cut that up. They were actually really close to being done. A lot closer than I thought, but we'll chuck them back in the pan. With the bacon. So you can see they're breaking apart. That's good. Alright, next I've got some just some red onion on there. Most of that gets in the pan. Rightio, that's as good as it's gonna get, I reckon. Looks alright, eh? Alright, so I'll chuck that on the plate. Just gonna finish that off with some freshly chopped chives. And of course, a bit of cheese. There we go, that's alright, eh? Not too bad. Let's get into it. So as always, when it comes to eating, you know, the lighting's not the best, so I do apologise. So I hope you can actually see this. It smells amazing. Oh, those potatoes are so good. They probably would have taken only about an extra half an hour to do in the way I had them in the campfire there. But I've just got a bit impatient. If it needs anything on top, maybe just a bit of sour cream. Alright, so these are the honey and ham sausages from my local butcher. Oh wow, they're really nice. A tiny bit of spice in them. They are good. And cooked perfectly. Nice and juicy. Right, I'm going to get into it. Alright, well that meal was pretty bloody special, I reckon. Not too bad at all. I think if I'd known that I was going to end up finishing off the potatoes in the fry pan, I probably would have bought a bit of garlic. All that aside, that was a pretty big meal and I'm bloody stuffed, so who needs it. I'm going to bring the video to an end now. As I mentioned earlier at the beginning, or earlier, I'm sure I've mentioned it at some point through this video, I'm really sorry that you're not seeing any real progress done on the build. We did get the tarp sorted out, which I'm really happy about. It's a lot better now. It's a lot nicer being able to access the shelter through the front door. So I'm happy with the doorway access now. Is a lot more improved. It was just such a late start, and I had such a struggle of a start to the day in finding some motivation. I'm not going to go into that, but anyway, I think I'm glad I pushed myself to come out, because I think this is what I really needed, was just a day to chill out here and reset the mental batteries and get back on my game. So be a little bit more focused in the future. So tomorrow, which for you obviously is going to be next week, I'm going to make every effort or endeavour to get at least another piece of wood on the structure down this side here. Yeah, so I'm going to stoke the fire now, have a couple of bevies, relax for the night, and I'll probably be in bed pretty bloody early. All right, so again, thank you for coming. If you're new to the channel and are not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit that like button, the thumbs up, smash that, it really helps. Hit the comments. Tell us what you think. I love to hear what people have to say about the build, and I do respond to all comments. Anyway, so I will see you next week, 8 AM next Saturday. I don't know, we're over daylight saving time. I'm sick of guessing. But I'll see you next Saturday, 8 AM, with another video from Alex Does. See ya. G'day. Welcome to another video from Alex Does. My name's Alex. Have a go at this. Spidey hole, there's my finger for comparison, it's pretty big.